We'll see y'all right at 1 o'clock. We're going to start right at 1. We've got a great lesson. It'll be fun. It'll be a little messy. So make sure you have protected your surface somewhere. And because we'll be on the table. And I'll go over those in just a minute. So grab your stuff. And they will let me know when it's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Oh, it's 1 o'clock? It is not. It is 1 o'clock. There's a consensus. We're waiting. We need to be on Greenwich, in Greenwich on the mean line. Everyone, consensus of 1 o'clock. Welcome to our class. I'm Kisa Houseman, and I am so excited you joined us today. Today, you're going to need, I just want to cover it all. You're going to need a canvas or heavy paper. I have a big canvas to show you today. You're going to need a plate or something to do a palette, a straw, if you have one, acrylic paints, some lightweight cardboard. I'm going to be cutting up a Kleenex box today, some glue, and obviously brushes in a water jar. And you can see we're going to do something really fun and funky today. So now everyone's trying new things because you can't necessarily go to a skating rink or a bowling alley or a movie theater. So you might have had some roller skates to pull out or a skateboard. You might be riding your bikes. I'm doing a lot of walking. And so this is kind of a fun way to celebrate this. This is our piece. It's called Skater Girl, and it's by Cass Stoddart, who is a British artist, and this is actually a piece that was done within the past year, so it is as contemporary as we get. He has been known for mechanical abstract art. So again, he's a working artist now, and you say, well, what's mechanical abstract art? So in abstract art, there's all sorts of categories, and really, it talks about the process of the art. And a lot of times you'll hear me talk about technique or process, and you're like, wow, I don't even know what that means. Well, today, we're going to be using process to do most of our technique. Tomorrow, when we're doing perspective drawing, we're going to be using technique. So you can kind of understand that. Process is when you have a discovery, like what is going to happen. And as you do it, you can't plan it out and you see what happens. Technique is when we learn how to accomplish something and we understand how it works. So we're going to be using mechanical abstract art. Now, mechanical, that part of abstract, and process involves moving the paint in a different way. You have to use a force other than yourself. So we're going to use gravity. We're going to use air. If everyone had one of those spirograph, gyro, whatever those things, things that would fling your paint around like that, that is an example of mechanical abstract art where it would spin it around and do that type of thing. So we are going to get ready to make our inspiration piece, Skater Girl. So go ahead. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out this wheel shape. I'm going to do this. So you want to cut out something that's going to be about a circle. It does not matter the size. I would go bigger than smaller because you can always cut these down. The reason we're going to cut these first is we're going to cut scraps to pull our paint with, and I want to make sure you have enough cardboard. So I am cutting out my Kleenex box. If you have a cereal box, if you have heavy paper, that works too. And so I'm just going to cut. They're not quite exact circles. Sometimes the funkier, the better. So kind of looks like an egg. There we go. We've got one. So now I'm going to make another. And I'm not really worried that they match exactly, because this is supposed to be kind of wild and fun, and this is not a piece that I think we need to have precision on. There are certain things I like to transfer and have it very precise if that is what the piece or the technique calls for. Okay, so I have cut my two wheelie wheels. What? as it goes across the thing. So here you go. And just so you kind of see the scale on my piece, how they're going to fit, I turn them that way. They're going to be turned this way. I'm going to be using the back, but that way you can see them. Although it would look kind of cool to use that pattern. So while you're cutting those, then you just need to cut some strips. If you did the acrylic art lesson, do you remember, and if you haven't done it, now when you go back to do that acrylic lesson, you'll go, oh, this is where I would use this technique, where we put the dots of paint and then we pulled them with the cardstock or the cardboard and made the stripes. We're just going to be doing that with single colors, but we're going to be getting movement with our paint using that. So I just need some flat edge scraps. So after I cut that, I'm just going to have some scraps like this handy. And then I'll set my Kleenex box or whatever you have off to the side, and we'll get ready to start drawing. So, and I'm going to see if I can put the canvas up here, Keaton, right now. Let me see. I think I can borrow some clips. Let me see if I clip this up here. I might be able to do this. Yeah, I think I can do that. See if that holds. Maybe I'll borrow this clip too. I don't know. We may be good, we may not be good. There we go. No. I think we've got it. Hang on, let me get it onto the first board. I might need an assistant. Can you see that? Is that going to work okay? Okay. I won't be up here very long. So just make sure, Keaton, you're getting me and the piece, because that way over here. So we're just going to drop in the basic outline of the skate. So what I'm going to do, if you can see in all the movement, we've got a line that comes down here, and then we're going to kind of drop in where our wheels are. We're going to come across, and we're just going to get that basic contour, that outline of the skate. Because the rest of our fill-in is going to be done with that mechanical abstract technique. We're going to put it in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, you're going to want to protect your surface because we are going to be moving some paint around with a straw. We are going to be smushing, and I tend to be a little messy, so you may not be as messy as me. But let's go ahead and drop that outline in. So if you notice here, it's off center, off to the right of our paper. We're going to drop that initial line down. I'm curving down. There's about half of my canvas, and I'm over to right here. So you're going to curve it down. Now, you're going to draw on your actual paper using a pencil. I'm using a marker so you can see it at home, but just use your pencil. That's fine. So we're going to come down. So I'm making a big swirly S line. I'm putting this line in. Remember, I always say an artist is about observing. So you're observing where that contour is. We're coming down, kind of like a clown shoe is what we're doing. And then we're coming across. So like that. Now we're going to drop in about where our wheels are. You can trace your shape if you want to, or you can just go ahead and put a circle on. We're going to come across here. And then we've got our next circle in. And don't worry, I'll go over this. Okay, so we're going to review where we are. We've got our line that comes down. We're following this from a little bit to the right of our center. We're coming down to about halfway in our canvas, giving ourselves a little swoop as we come down. Notice how I take up most of the canvas right here, like this. And then I come back in. I've got the circle there. I come across. I've got the circle there. And then I'm going to come back up. I'm not as worried about getting this. I'm just going to kind of swoop, simplify that line, and swoop down like that. So we're going to end up with this basic shape. We want to make sure we get our contour, our outline in there, so that we'll be able to at least have some kind of housing for all our fun abstract imagery. So I think this held this well enough that I can pull it back down to the table. Talia was offering to assist me. Oh, she says no, she was volunteering her brother. So, okay. So let's come on down to the table, Keaton, and we're going to get ready to have some fun. Let's make sure we're all in here. And I'm going to bring in all my pieces and let everyone finish getting their fun abstract. Let's see. Is there a place I can put this that you can see this in the camera, honey? No, not really. Okay.
You can kind of see it right there.
I'll kind of put it right there. How? If I scooch it over a little bit. Okay.
You'll be able to see
Okay.
all the roller skates.
All the roller skates. So I'll put my brushes up here. We'll rearrange this so we can get as much in your sight line as possible. Here we go. How's that, guys? Oh, canvas and the roller skates. So we're set. So I have my wheels here. I'm just going to set them so I remember that they're there. Don't worry about where you put them. And I am going to pick my color. So now I have acrylic paint. We use big jars of paint in the studio, so we always put them in these handy little cups. And so you'll see these a lot when you see me painting. And the colors in here tend to be, let's see, what can you see? Can you see that in the camera? Tend to be kind of reds and pinks and purples and blues and greens. I'm going to stay pretty close to this color scheme, not exact, but pretty close, because I thought it felt very springy and fun. It evoked what I felt if a piece was titled Skater Girl, the colors I would use. But feel free, again, to use any colors you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and my water. I may need my water back over here. I kind of have my system of how I like to do things. And I'm right-handed, so I like to keep everything over to my right side. So I'm going to take the darkest color that I have in my warm tones. And I'm going to notice, I'm going to take a little blop, and I'm going to put a blop on my canvas, just like that. And then I'm going to take one of my pieces, and we're going to create this type of image. We're going to just give ourselves a smush like that. And we're going to create that. Now notice on here a few more times, we have mostly horizontal and vertical, and then you'll have the movement on top tends to be line work, not spaces. So we're creating these spaces of color, and we're going to, when we put our dots on, we're going to pull them this way or we're going to pull them this way. So let's do that a couple more times. Now here's the best part. It doesn't matter where you put it because that's part of the art. So this is a little bit mechanical because we're putting it on the paint and then we're using something non-traditional. We're using this movement and we don't exactly know what's going to happen and we're going to pull it. So I'm going to put this color on about 4 times, I think. And then Talia, let me know if there are any questions. So I put the dot on just like that. And then I just take this is my Kleenex box, my scrap of paper. I put it at the edge and I pull it like this. I just put it at the edge and then I can pull it a long way or a small way.
What happens if you get paint on the circles?
Oh, there's no problem at all. That's all part of it. We're going to paint over it. Speaking of that, that's kind of fun. I was talking to Talia about something really cool we're going to do next week. So I'll give you a little sneak about that in a minute. So I'm just going to put a little bit. Here, I just put one next to it. You can put these anywhere you want. And if you're worried about getting things off your circles, you can move them. The reason I put them on there is just to remind me that I'm not putting paint in there. If I get some paint on there, don't worry, we'll paint over it. So you kind of get the idea. Now we're going to pick a second color. So I'm going to stay in my warm tones because I have a little bit, I'm going to wipe mine off. You can use a new one, or you can use the other end. Can you see that, Keaton? And so I'm going to take another warm color. I'm going to take like a baby pink is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to find a few more spots to put it around. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, just using a new color. So here we go. Like that. And then let's put some up here. I'll drag it down so you can see it from there. So
What if it goes outside the line?
ooh, if it goes outside the lines, even better. Even better. Now remember, when we're using acrylic paint or any kind of paint, if something comes outside of where your border is, and that is your decision as an artist, you know, if you decide your border comes out and it explodes off where he has these decorative lines, that's fine. But if you decide you like a tidy edge, what you can do is we're going to leave the gesso surface of white. You can come back with white paint and you can tidy that up. So, and I would do that at the end. So I'm only going to use this color maybe one more time. And I feel like I kind of want to put something right here at the bottom. But you can put it anywhere you want. I'm going to pull that. So you see what happens? Now, this is kind of interesting because this is similar to painting with a palette knife in the sense that we're using a flat edge. But because of this blind drag and pull where we can't see what we're doing, with the palette knife you can manipulate it where you can see what you're doing. But we're getting that mechanical aspect and we don't know what's happening. So, do we have a question? We're good? Okay, so let's come in and I'm going to start adding some of my blues. So let's do that. Now, if you remember when we painted the fun giraffe, you could even come in and do your giraffe this way and kind of approach it in a totally different way. So he has a little tongue up here, so I'm going to do this and pull that. Oh, I'm going to take my other, because I have warm colors on that one. Pull that across there. I'm probably only going to use this color a couple times and just use it a little bit. But you use it as you like. Put a little bit there. Maybe a tiny line here. It already looks pretty cool if you think about it. This may get your mind thinking about, oh, I could use this in various ways or do different things. And it's exciting to think about when you're discovering a way paint moves in another way, how you could utilize it in other pieces. Layers and layers of this could be a beautiful abstract piece. So I'm going to move to a different color. I've used 2 shades of pink, and now I'm going to use another shade of blue. And I'm going to concentrate a little bit over here and maybe put one right down the middle. I'm going to use the other end. See, I get a little overlap. And just going to put it a couple places. You can put yours anywhere you want. So we do that. I may put it a few more places. How is yours coming? How's everyone doing? Painting? Are you painting with a Kleenex box or a cereal box? What is your lightweight cardboard today? Did you recycle? So I'm going to come across here.
Someone tried to put your toilet paper.
Ooh, a toilet paper roll. See, I love that. So you see, we just want to get these different movements around. And you can continue to add more. I have one more shade of blue. So this is going to give me 5 colors that I'm using on here. You can, of course, use more. Maybe put one in here and pull that across. A cereal box. Excellent. See all the things that your cereal box or your toilet paper rolls can do? What? A Kleenex box. I have another Kleenex box out there. I love it. It's allergy season here, so we have Kleenex boxes everywhere.
Ooh, donut box lid.
Ooh, a donut box lid. Can I come to your house? Donuts. We all went, donuts. Cheez-Its. I love it. I love it.
Do you have any tips on getting the paint out of a brush?
Okay. Well, yes. Do I have any tips on getting the paint out of a brush? So, are you wanting to know specifically changing while you're painting or cleaning it at the end? There are two different methods. Right now, I don't worry too much about my color being too pure. My water's a little dirty, so I'm probably going to rinse it in just a minute. But I stick my brush in all the way to the bottom. Now, this is dangerous. When I say I tap it very lightly. I want to make sure I'm on the bottom, but I tap it about this much, like this. Can you see that? Just what I'm trying to do is pull this paint. Acrylic paint likes to stay up here. It likes to get stuck right there. So when you're finally cleaning it at the end, you want to make sure, see how much paint came out just then when I did that? You want to make sure you get that while you're running water over it. You're going to pull it from the ferrule, which is this metal bit, out of there. When I'm just doing it right here, I lightly, and I have to emphasize lightly, if you smash it down, you will ruin the brush. We call it brush death around here, and we have an entire wall of brushes that we paint and hang up because they look really cool. But when they go to brush heaven, I guess. So, so what happens is you want to make sure you lightly bounce it to get any of that paint, and then I make sure when I bring it to the edge, I'm pushing it along that edge to get the water out, as well as when I get that water, I'm taking that with me. So usually I also have something underneath. See how I have brown paper here? We use drop cloth, tablecloths in the studio so that people can wipe their brush off too. So, okay, hopefully everyone is right here. And don't use really, really hot water also to wash your brushes. Use warm water. Really, really hot water can start melting the glue.
You also have some people using Eggo waffle.
Ooh, an Eggo waffle box.
And
Perfect.
Coke box.
A Coke box. Oh, we have many. Those all sound fantastic. See, did you know all those painting tools were at your grocery store? So now what we're going to do is we're going to start getting a black, or your dark. So you can have a dark brown. You want a big contrast color is what you want. And I would get, if you have a round brush, I have a little bit of variety, but we're going to get, here's my black, and I'm going to start it, and we're going to start doing a little bit of mechanical drawing. So I'm going to add some water to this because I need it to be able, so make sure you can see this, I need it to be able to drop, so it's not dropping yet. My water's dirty, so you can see it going on there. Can you see that on camera? So I'm going to add enough water. Oh, see how it's starting to drop now? Okay, because we're going to need to dribble this around. I'm going to add a little more water. You don't want it too thin, but okay. Well, probably put too much paint in here to get too much. Okay, so let's see how I'm doing. So now we're going to use the mechanical, we're going to try and dribble it. So my brush is not touching. I am actually, let me add more water. So I am going to let it drop. Can you see that on camera, how I'm letting it drop, Keaton? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I can pull it. We're going to let it drop. Let me put a lot of water on my brush. And I'm just going to let it drop. I'm going to kind of outline my spaces here. If yours isn't dropping, you want to, I might need to, okay. See how it just kind of drops out? If you might need to add more water. So I just get a little more water each time I pick it up. There we go. And it's okay if it spreads. I like the circles. So I'm going to wait and let everyone get some big drops and some dribbles. You can put lines where you don't have any. Ooh, that was a good drop right there. I'm just making crisscross lines. I'm going to try and outline our shapes a little bit. But this is the process of the mechanical part, where we don't know what's going to happen. We're letting gravity pull our paint. So the brush just acts as a holder for where the paint goes. So sometimes you want to outline on top of it. You want wherever the paint ends up is what's going to happen, but you're kind of just holding it up above. I'm going to get a little more water. I'm going to let it keep going. We're going to get more on here. Now, this will be a lot of paint on your canvas. What you want to do is you want to let this dry a good long time, a very good long time. So I'm going to keep on going.
How do you get paint on the carpet?
Uh-oh. Okay. Did somebody just get paint on their carpet? There's a couple ways. Don't grind it in. You can try to get it up right away, or depending on if it's a little spot, let it dry completely, and then you can flake it out if it's acrylic. So, sorry about that, Mom. This is kind of fun just to see what happens. Just let it pull and draw. Let's see, I'll get a big drip. I'm going to let it keep going. I'm just going to keep going around. We're getting we can get all sorts of fun. Okay, so I'm basically outlining the shapes, but if I'm getting a wiggle or a swirl in between, that's part of the process. So we love to see that happen. How is everyone's coming? Little did you know you were making mechanical abstract art today using donut boxes and drippy paint and all sorts of fun. Now I'm going to take my black while I'm going to let some of that sit and let you do this, and I'm going to outline. I'm going to move my wheels and I'm going to outline my piece right here in black. So I am using my brush just so yours will be in pencil, and then that way you can see where yours is. Don't worry if you have color outside, but I just pulled that around and we've got those. And then I'm going to outline my wheels. Okay. So I'm going to let you keep dripping around, but you start seeing how we're getting that drippy shape. Can you see this right here? This drippy movement, this varying in thicknesses, how we're thick and thin. The gravity, as it pulls your drop, when there's more paint, it'll be thicker. So you end up getting this natural ability. There also, it's almost as though he put them like grommets or screws. So if you get little dots, it's actually what's occurring in the piece. So I'm going to let you keep going with that. And then we're going to do a little fun. And I'm going to rinse my water out while you're still adding your drips. Okay.
Someone says this is fun.
It is fun. Isn't it relaxing? It's kind of fun to see what happens. So, as you keep going, again, our inspiration is Cass Stoddart. He's a British artist. And,
Someone wants to know what the plates were.
oh, I use the plate, you're going to see in just a minute, for when we're going to add a lot of water to a piece. So, as soon as we get the plate out, and you're going to need your straw. I brought in a paper straw and a plastic straw. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get one of my colors. So if you're not done putting your black, don't worry. I'm going to show you another technique in here, and then we can put it all together. So I want you to pick one of your colors. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to pick this blue because I think you'll be able to see it really well. And I'm going to put it on my plate. And this is when I need to add a lot of water. I need to add equal amounts water and paint. So you see how runny it is? So that's what we're doing with that. So go ahead and mix up just one color, and you want, so if you equal parts water and paint, you want a pretty watery paint. And then what we're going to do is, and this doesn't always work the first time, so let's try it. We're going to take our straw. Can you see this, Keaton? And we're going to put a dot on, and then I am holding the straw. So let me do it again. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put it over here. So remember, I have equal parts water and paint. We need a lot of water. So this is another thing where we're using the force of air, or our breath. So I put a dot, and then I'm going to put the straw right by it, and I'm going to blow it. And if you blow any of the others, some of your black might be there. So let's try that again, just because it's fun. So we're going to put it up here so we can blow it across. And I'm going to put one right next to it and see if I catch it when I do that. And I'm going to take my straw, and I'm going to blow it. Now that's just fun. Plus it gets rid of all your hot air. So this is the kind of thing you can take and you can move around. It's getting that movement. You can also use this with your brush and pick up anywhere you connected and make those movements come in. You know, you can add to them. You can do that type of thing. So that's just a fun way to make sure we're getting that mechanical, abstract part where we're using forces like gravity and air and movement to create the design. So Cass Stoddart does a lot of mixed media, and a lot of mechanical abstracts are mixed media. That's why we decided to come in and add in the wheels. So you can, because this will take so long to dry, because it's really thick, you can come in and then you can paint your wheels. So I'm going to leave my wheels this color, but you could paint it white. I'm going to paint the center right there of that wheel. I'm going to paint the center right there. Here's a little tip. If you have a flat brush, you can create a circle by putting it down. Get the water off of here. So it'll make the diameter. So, and then I literally spin my brush around like that. So I can do it the other way, just in case you can see it on camera there. I just spin my brush around, and you can use that to create a circle. It works better with a flat brush, but you can do it with a round brush too. Flat brush just has that ability to do it. Okay. And I might decide I want a different color in the middle, so I'm just going to drop that in there. I'm just going to put a big dot. right there. And then I'm going to take my, again, I want a little movement on there, so I'm going to drip around the wheels. Let's get that one. So, right, add a little more. You can also do the drips and the movement with other colors you have. You can get them to drop and fall. You can use it to continue on where you did movement that comes across like that. So, and then once you can use your air movement with your straw. Again, when you're doing that, you're going to water the paint 1 to 1. So you can take it out of where it is, mix it with 1 part water, equal parts water and paint, and then dab it on and use your straw to make that movement. You can also add a little water to your paint cup. Here, I'll do it on here. Add water and then it will drip and you can get that movement where you're getting gravity. When this is all dry and your wheels are dry, simply glue your wheels onto your canvas and then you'll have a mixed media piece. And this is one that you can continue to play with. You can decide you want it to move more. As long as you might be entertained by doing this, this truly becomes your own piece. And it's a lot of discovering about where you might, what happens when what happens when the paints fall in line, how you get it thicker, what happens when you hold it further away from the canvas, when you have drops and dribbles. As it goes around, literally you can do that forever. So, okay, I think we'll be able to come on up, Keaton. And mine aren't glued, but I think you'll be able to see them well enough. And I'll try and hold it. My wheels aren't glued, so they might fall down, but if you can see that, you can continue to play and add all these lines. You can add more details. I liked my wheels being the color, that cardboard color, because it gave it a contrast. You can add more on this. This is Skater Girl, so you can make it however you want. But I think it's neat to discover what happens with the paint and to see how mechanical abstract art works and to make a fun roller skate for the day. So I hope you have enjoyed learning about mechanical abstract art and making kind of a really fun piece. This is great for all ages. For adults to discover what happens is kind of amazing because it will make sense how your brush makes a thicker and wider line even when you watch it drip. So it's a great way to understand the underlying aspects of technique. Speaking of technique, tomorrow we are drawing perspective and it's going to be different than the road. We're going to approach it a little differently. I had a very special request from my niece Emma that she wanted me to draw the Titanic this week. So we're going to use the Titanic as our inspiration. It's more going to be a boat, but it's going to be in the style of the Titanic and it's a great technique drawing class. So I hope you will join me tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time. And again, if you need to reflect any part of this lesson or find any ones prior that I've referenced, we post them to our Facebook page, Make Paducah, and to my YouTube channel, Kisa Hausman, which is my name, and it's spelled Kijsa. So we'll see you there. We'll see you here. We'll see you tomorrow. Art is man's nature. Nature is God's art. Happy day, guys.